Hello and welcome to Phyre's LEGO Reviews. Today we're going to be looking at set number 10293, Santa's Visit. It is part of the Winter Village collection. It has 1,445 pieces and was released in 2021 for $100 in the US. Now at the time I'm recording this video, it's set to retire at the end of 2023. By the time I post this, it will probably have been retired for quite some time, but hopefully it won't have gone up too much on the aftermarket. The front of the box features the standard 18 plus design of that kind of brickwork on the bottom in white for the Winter Village sets, and then it's got this background, normally kind of a plain black background, but for the Winter Village sets, we do have kind of snowfall appearing in the background, and then the set displayed front and center on the box there. The back of the box shows off the interior of the set, as well as the dimensions of the set, a picture of it on display in somebody's home, and some of the features and close-up shots of the interior of the set. The top of the box features the set name in another language, and we've also got a close-up of some of the minifigures in the set, including Santa, and we've got a close-up of the Christmas tree over here, and another close-up of Santa, showing that this is the actual size of the minifigure included in the set. The bottom of the box isn't very exciting. It just continues that white pattern from the front and back of the box and has some legal information here. This side is much the same with the set name in another language and some more legal information. But as is typical of LEGO sets, there's usually one side of the box that does have some nice detail and artwork, and this shows a close-up of the chimney of the house with Santa going down the chimney here, and we also got the LEGO logo up top here. Opening up the box, it looks like we've got 9 sets of numbered bags for the build, and then 2 instruction manuals, one for the actual main build of the house here, and then a much smaller instruction manual that is for kind of the add-on builds to the set, with the snowy fencing and mailbox it looks like here, and then the Christmas tree and presents over on the right. And this instruction manual just kind of gets right into the build. It shows you how to use the brick separator. I don't think there will be much in the back here. Obviously the back cover is just a plain black. We do have details about, it looks like, replacing the battery in the light brick, and then a whole bunch of kind of stuff about disposing batteries, I believe, in all sorts of different languages. And then, yeah, just the end of that part of the build here. The main instruction manual shows the same art of the set that was on the cover of the box. The back is, again, just that plain black, so nothing going on there. And then inside, as is typical of the 18 plus sets, we have details about the set and the design process. So that's neat to see here. And then we get right into the build with the rest of the bags. So obviously bag 1 builds those first 2 components, and then you get into the rest of the build with bags 2 through 9 here. In the back of the instruction manual, we've got our typical parts list. We've got an ad about giving feedback to LEGO. And then at the end here, you do have the completed model. And it looks like with some, that I've noticed with some other recent LEGO sets, that they actually have some little blurbs written on certain pages of the instruction manual. So you can read a little bit about that, maybe some Easter eggs that they threw into the set. The first time that I noticed that was with the Haunted House set from the LEGO Fairground line. So this is only the second set that I can recall that I've noticed these kind of little blurbs and descriptions of little Easter eggs in the set. So the first bag builds some kind of add-on builds to the set, and we'll start with the minifigure that is included in this bag. So we have a man here who, judging by his expression, kind of looks like he might be caroling or something. He is carrying a letter, and that is a printed tile piece. And as far as I can tell, this is a new print for that letter envelope. There has been, a very common print since, I think, the 90s that I can remember when I was little and building Legos that they have used for mail envelopes. But that has been updated here with a little bit more detail in the print, so that is cool to see. That's the first time that I am seeing that. The man himself has a nice sweater pattern. I'm not sure if that print is unique to the set or not. I would assume not, but I'm not sure. There is no printing on the back, but he does have a red scarf here and this brown hairpiece, and his head is double-sided. So, of course, we've got that laughing or singing expression on the one side with his eyes closed, And then on the other side, kind of a smirk there. Moving on to the builds, we've kind of got the front gate, I guess, to the house with kind of fencing and a mailbox here, which is really nicely designed. A lantern hanging from the pole here, and a little bit of Christmas decoration here underneath with that red and green leaf. And we've got some kind of cobblestone pattern on the bottom with some snow heaped up there and snow on the railings. It looks really nice. Just a great little add-on that you can place in front of the final build when it's done. And we've also got a Christmas tree here, which is kind of a staple of these Winter Village sets. There's often new ones included in the builds, and this set is no different. It actually features a very unique new design. It was a little bit complicated to put together, but very nice. And it has a really neat feature in that when you press down on it, there is actually a light brick inside that lights up. So that is very cool to see, and you can actually, the way that it's put in there is, this is just kind of placed loosely on top of the light brick, and the light brick is placed loosely inside of here, so that when you press down on it, it presses on that actual button for the light brick and lights the whole tree up. Here's the effect with no lights on from the camera or anything, so you can see it looks very nice lit up like that. There's clear pieces throughout the build, and it even lights up the kind of gem piece on top, the way it's constructed. So that is really cool, a really cool, unique feature that has not been included in any set prior to this. So it's very cool to see. You know, normally in these sets, they put the light bricks inside the building to light up the windows, but having it light up the tree this way is super cool and really innovative. And lastly, we've got a few gifts to place around the Christmas tree. So we've got a couple wrapped presents here, and then this thing in the middle, I believe, may be kind of a micro-scale interpretation of a house with a tree next to it and perhaps a car out front. Perhaps even a micro-scale version of a Lego set. I'm not familiar with a set that might look like this, but I'm sure there may be one. So that could be a little Easter egg there that they threw in. And we've also got a rocket ship here, possibly a reference to the Saturn V rocket that obviously is a much bigger Lego model. And then we've also got a kind of trumpet here that is brick built and really nicely designed. So that is cool to see as well. Here is the progress after bag 2, and we've got our second minifigure of the set so far. And this one is not super interesting. It's kind of just a standard town or city minifigure. I'm not sure if that torso is unique or not. I would assume not, that it is probably in other city minifigures. And the hairpiece is also not unique, having appeared in other minifigures in the past. The face is double-sided, so this side features a very toothy grin, and the other side features her eyes closed with a laughing or possibly singing expression, and she is also holding this teacup. Moving on to the build itself, we have the foundation built up here with some of the interior and the design of the floor or carpet on the interior, and then all the exterior with the snow and cobblestones leading up to the door. On the inside here, we do have these flame details, and these can be pushed upward. I'm assuming there might be some kind of function that will cause the flames to come up. I'm not 100% sure about that. You might just have to lift them manually, but hopefully there is some kind of function that will make that a little bit easier. And then we've also got a present hidden on the inside here. And then again, this tile pattern over here for the floor or carpeting for this room here. And the base is really well designed with some really nice angles that were achieved with a lot of hinge pieces. So you can see underneath there's 3 different hinge pieces on the bottom. There was more hinges on top as well. And it's reinforced very well. Like, this is very sturdy, it ends up being. I wasn't sure at first if it would be that sturdy, but it actually ended up being quite sturdy. So I'm happy with that. Here is the progress after the third bag. So the walls have been built up a little bit here around the outside. We've also got these details with these splashes of color, the green and red. And what's really neat is that they used what has typically been used for Wolverine's claws as actual, like, pine needles or pine boughs there on the outside. So that was a really interesting parts usage there. And you've also got those red cherry pieces that complete that look there for the decorations around the outside. We've also got windowsills here with snow covering them. So that is nice to see. And there is also a bird on the windowsill right here. On the interior, we've got a stack of logs over here by the wall, kind of the backdrop to the fire, and I guess the beginning of the chimney here. And then over on this side, some things to fill out the kitchen with some cupboards, a sink, a loaf of bread here on the counter. We've also got this really nice design for a electric mixer, so that is really cool to see. And then a pan on the stove here, so lots of great little details in there in that little kitchen space. Here is the progress after the fourth bag. So the walls have been built up more, and we've got some structure for what I believe will be the second floor here. I believe it's going to have a second floor. So this is what it looks like from the exterior. We've got these windows that have been added, and the walls have been built up to complete this level. And yeah, that's what it looks like all the way around. More of the chimney has been built up as well, and then we've also got this door here with the decorations on the front that have been added in a kind of unique way. So it's actually kind of free floating, but it's not going to fall off at all because there is a piece here in the back that connects to the pieces in the front, so it kind of holds it in place there. Just not completely stable, like it does move up and down, and you might have some issues sometimes when you're closing the door because that leaf can shift and kind of block it, but it's not too big of an issue, and you can move it out of the way to be able to close the door. Other than that, there hasn't really been any details added on the interior other than this potted plant in the corner here. The main part of this portion of the build has just been to build the walls up further. Here is the progress after the fifth bag, and the chimney has been built up quite a bit more with a lot of nice interior details added. Starting at the ground level, we've got this really nice brick-built armchair here. I really like the design on that. And then a little table here with some cookies and a mug. We've also got these multicolored stockings here above the hearth, and you can see the light gray detail behind that was added that looks really neat. And then up here we have a clock with a sticker piece there, some candles on the mantle, and moving up further we have another sticker on this round piece here and this dark gray detail that has been added as well. And then we've also got some more light blue here built up, and then the exterior of the chimney here looks like this now. So it's been built up quite a bit in this section, but that's pretty much the extent of what's been added here. And as far as I can tell, there is no mechanism for these flame pieces, so they're supposed to be upright, I believe, but unfortunately they can fall forward. Maybe that is intentional, maybe not. Here is the progress after 6 bags. So we have another minifigure in this bag, this one being a little girl in pajamas, and she is carrying a cookie, and she has this pigtail hairpiece in black, and she does have a double-sided head. So this side being a big smile, and then the other side showing her with her eyes closed and sleeping. And you can see there's a very nice printing with snowflakes on the back of the torso there, as well as the front with that pajama top. Moving on to the build, we've got this side of the house being built up more with this really nice design for the roof overhang, and some kind of bells here with leaves behind them as a decoration. I really like the way they were able to get the roof panels in there. It was really interesting, and it creates some really nice angles with those pieces. And then of course you've got the main part of the house being built up more, and we've got some furnishings there in that upper floor with a very brightly colored bed and a little desk and a chair in front of it with a stickered piece that features a letter to Santa with some drawings on the bottom. And there's also a picture on the wall that is another stickered piece. So this presumably is the little girl's room, seeing as we got her in this bag. And then there's also a ladder here that is clipped onto the bottom of the bed. And the final component that has been added in this section is the dining room table and chairs, which looks really beautiful despite the relatively simple design, especially for the table. I really like how they were able to get that red tablecloth look there, and then you've got the candles in the middle with some teacups on either end, and this really neat design for the chairs. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of the chair design, but the table itself looks really cool, and as a whole, altogether, looks really nice. So that is some really cool furnishing in there, and it looks really cool to see all the furnishings so far that have been added in here. Here is the progress after 7 bags. So now we've got parts of the roof as well as kind of the frame of the house that holds the roof up. I'll show you the reverse angle of that. So it's kind of this whole bar section here that serves as the frame for the roof, or at least the peak of the building. And we've also got this light here that has been added that hangs down into the house. But what I really found really interesting, this set all around has some really great angles and really great building techniques to get those angles to be the way they are. But I was really impressed with how the roof pieces are attached. So you can kind of see, if you pull forward here, this is where they're actually attached, and then they're on these Technic pieces that can then swivel closed, like so, and the same thing for this segment over here. So you can pull it forward, and that's where it's connected down there, and then you slide it there, and you have those awesome looking angles for the house. I'm excited to build the final kind of middle section of the house here and see what other techniques might be used for that section. Here is the progress after 8 bags. So this whole middle section has been built now. Starting at the bottom, we've got kind of the stonework around the door with some lights on either side and some snow on top. We've also got another of those bell details with the leaves behind. Moving up, we've got more of those green Wolverine claws representing pine needles, and those create a really nice decoration there along the front with some cherry pieces. So that looks really nice. And we've got the roof here, and like I said before, I continue to be impressed with the building techniques here. There's not really a lot that's visible now, but there was a piece in here, I believe it might be up in here, that was connected by hinge pieces before attaching the bricks to each other. So that kind of gives a nice bit of reinforcement there. And then with the roof design, again, there's some Technic pieces in there, and it was designed in a really kind of ingenious way to get it to have those angles. And then up here, we also have this little, I'm assuming it's a present, but it could perhaps be a cake, although a present makes more sense to be hidden up in the attic there, or what I'm assuming would be the attic. So very nice build so far. There's just a little bit left, but so far I've been really impressed with some really neat, interesting building techniques that have been used in this set. After the 9th set of bags, the set is complete, so I'll go over the new additions from this bag before I give you my final thoughts. The first addition is the Santa Claus minifigure, which it says is a new design for this set. It says he has a brand new face print and torso, as well as the first appearance of the dual molded legs with the black boots. I have done a couple reviews of sets that are newer than this that feature the same dual molded leg design, although they do have a different torso piece. So this is a really nice looking Santa minifigure, as typically they have been in recent years. This is the back of the torso print there, and he only does have one side to his face, but we'll show you what that looks like without the beard. So here is the face without the beard, so you can see that really nice new print there. As far as the additions to the build go, we'll start with the exterior here. So we've got this tree, which is a deciduous tree. It specifically says in the instructions it's the first time they have included one in a Winter Village set, and so we've got those white kind of leaf pieces to represent snow covering the bare branches, and you can also see there's a little birdhouse there. And we've also got the addition of a very simple snowman over here. There's no detail or printing or anything on the what would be the head, but it is nice to see those pieces there representing a snowman. Moving on to the interior, you can see I've placed my little girl minifigure in her bedroom, but this roof panel was added in this section, and it can actually swivel out and be brought down, unlike some of the other panels that don't move quite as much, but that gives you access to her bedroom, and then it's very easy to just slide that back up and into place. And then we've also got this detail right here of a ring planet, potentially Saturn, so that is pretty neat. And over on this side, we got a little bit more added to the chimney. So This piece is actually removable, and it specifically says in the instructions that they designed it that way in case your Santa minifigure gets stuck, and there is a feature where you can drop the Santa minifigure down the chimney, and we'll show you that in a moment. But they made this portion removable so that in case he gets stuck, it's a little bit easier to get him out. So I was actually wrong about the fireplace in one of the earlier segments, because those pieces are meant to swivel back and forth, and there is a feature, that feature being the fact that you can drop the Santa minifigure down into the chimney, and he fits completely with the sack of toys. So you just drop him down in there, and then when he falls through, he knocks the flames over and comes out. And you can just place the flames back just with your finger. There is no actual like gear or anything that turns those, but the feature is actually the fact that you can drop the Santa minifigure down and he will knock those flames over. So a pretty neat, kind of fun play feature. Obviously not something that you would typically use much of if you're an adult collecting the set, most likely putting it on display. It is a fun feature nonetheless. So here's the complete set with all the components, and there are studs on top of the chimney, so you can place Santa up there if you would like. This set took me just over 2.5 hours to build, which averages out to about 6.4 seconds per piece. A full 1.5 seconds below my overall average of 7.9 seconds per piece, so not super complicated of a build. A lot of it went together pretty quickly, especially those roof panels. Just putting a lot of big plates together, so those sections went together quite quickly. And there's not really a lot of complicated building techniques involved. There are some definitely innovative and unique building techniques, but nothing that's overly complicated, I would say. And despite the 18+ rating for this set that kind of signifies it as more of a display model, this is definitely a build capable of really any teenager or even preteen, I would say. There isn't really anything super difficult about this set or time consuming. It goes together pretty quickly, and the building techniques are all fairly straightforward, if pretty innovative. But overall, this is a really nice set, and I am really happy with it. I love the build. All the cool techniques and the way that the different angles came together was really impressive to me. It was a lot of fun building that and seeing how it all came together. And every piece of this set is really fantastic and beautiful looking. I love how they incorporated the light brick and the Christmas tree. Even the small models of the toys and presents under the tree are really nicely detailed. The front gate is really nicely detailed. You know, there's not really much at all, if anything, that I can find wrong with this set. The minifigures are really nice, especially that Santa minifigure. That's kind of the flagship minifigure of the set. And, you know, the whole build, the exterior, the interior, all of it is fantastic. It's a beautiful display piece. This might actually be my favorite of the Winter Village sets so far. There's been a lot of good ones in the past, but this is really, really up there for sure. I would give this set probably a 9.8 out of 10, just leaving a little bit of wiggle room for there to be, you know, a set that potentially might be a little bit better than this. But as far as I can tell, this set is near perfect. The only slight issues that I have, especially with these 18+ branded sets, is the inclusion of stickers. I really wish we would see printed pieces exclusively in these sets, especially the 18+ sets, and especially for a set that there was only 4 stickers. I can't imagine it would have been that much more expensive for LEGO to have included 4 printed pieces instead of 4 stickers. But that is really my only complaint about this set. Other than that, you know, it looks amazing and is a fantastic addition to the Winter Village line. I would highly recommend picking up this set. So that does it for my review. If you have any thoughts or questions about the review or the set itself, feel free to leave a comment down below. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel for more content in the future. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.